Ahoy land lovers, how you guys all doing? Welcome back to Parkitect and welcome back to Lusitania Land. Today we're continuing our park with attractions that you can find in Portugal. For those that don't know yet, I live here. It's an awesome country. It could be better, but like probably every other country could be better also. What we're gonna do today, what I'm building today is we're starting up the coastline. So we're trying to mimic the coastline of Portugal. So Portugal has a real big coastline, like the left, like the western side, not the left, the western side of the country is, and the south is basically just a coastline. So there is a lot of beaches, a lot of sand, there's a lot of water sports and stuff like that. And today on the theme park, I thought about, well, not today because I made this like a couple of weeks ago. I haven't had time to play the game so much lately. Work related stuff, you know, adult stuff. So I made battle boats, and what I was thinking about when I was making this battle boats ride was Portugal was a big, it had a really big empire, right? Once they were literally the one of the owners of the world, you know, along with the Spanish, the Dutch, the English. They were the masters of the world, right? Vasco da Gama was one of the biggest nautical, sailors, I guess, and discovery persons. I don't know if this was in Portuguese, I'd know what to say, but in English it's hard to translate on the fly. Yeah, I should try to get a script done. Nah, I like it like this. It's better like this. So yeah, Portugal was one of the masters of the world back in the old days, you know, the big boats and stuff like that. So I wanted to do the battle boats as a homage, you know, to what they actually did, right? So the Portuguese discovered the maritime route to India around what was it? Cape of Good Hope, I think it is, down in Cape Town. Some people actually say that Portugal discovered Australia, but at the time they got to Australia, but they all died, so there was no reporting back. You know, that's what people say. I'm not saying it's true. It's just what I've heard and read. So I don't really care that much about it because it's like long gone. So they say before the British got to Australia, before Captain Cook got to Australia, that the Portuguese were actually there, but like I said, everyone died on that expedition, so there was no reporting back. So I guess that's that then. So after that, I tried, what did I think of doing? So I decorated everything around here with some sort of castle things, right? Because like Portugal also has a great big medieval history. Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe, and if you ever do come around here, you'll see a lot of castles spread out throughout the country. Unfortunately, a lot of them have they're just degraded and broken and stuff like that. So unfortunately, that's one thing that the Portuguese government doesn't really like doing, is preserving their history, which is really bad. They're getting better at it. But there are a lot of castles that are literally just like degraded and really bad. So I wanted to do that because like down south you also get a lot of these castles, because like it was a point of entry for the Moors to come into Europe, the south of Portugal. Here I'm just doing a bit of path work to connect the ride up. But you'll see later on that I change up a bit what is going on in here. I've got a cough. Give me a second. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, oh, don't die. The guy nearly drowned. As I was saying, there is the south of Portugal was a major point of entry to Europe. It still sort of is, although a lot of most of the entry now is coming through Gibraltar. But at the time, it was one of those points of contention, we should say. There were a lot of battles there between the Portuguese and the Moors. Portugal was at one time was under Arabic control or Arabian control, or whatever you want to call it. But then there was an alliance, if I'm not mistaken. There was an alliance between some Portuguese and some Spanish, but at the time it wasn't really Portugal and Spain, sort of like counties or something like that. And so they managed to expel the Moors, and Portugal was born and Spain was born. So that's more or less why I did those castles there. Also, so I could throw up some how do you call it? Oh, targets, yeah. Also, because I wanted to throw up some targets so that people on the battle boats could shoot at something, not just like waiting till the boats come close contact. I am so sorry about that. I've been a bit sick lately. And so, yeah, so it needed a bit of decoration, so that's what I did. Here I did these two sort of pathway bridges, but as you'll see in a couple of minutes, I actually like changed that, because I didn't like the way it looked. It looked a bit meh. I really didn't like it, so I ended up going with one tunnel under the boats, under the boat path, and coming out next to the pirate ship. The pirate ship there, I end up calling it Madre de Deus. Madre de Deus was one of the biggest, was the biggest boat at the time. The biggest sail, the wooden ship at the time. It was huge. It was like a really big battleship, and I ended up calling the pirate ship Madre de Deus, and then I ended up calling the boat ride the Discoveries, like just to give it a bit of that discovery feeling from the time that Portugal was on the high seas discovering the world. I decorated it a bit with some rocks underneath. Now I still got to do a little bit more, and here you can see that I've already got the tunnel going under the boat ride. So what am I doing here now? So basically what I'm doing here now is I'm doing the queue line, and I went with something on the lines of the houses that you can find in the Algarve. For those of you that don't know, Algarve is the south of Portugal, major tourist attraction where all the beaches are, and well, all the hot beaches, cool beaches are, because you've got a lot of beaches along the coast, but like the water isn't that, well, I don't really like it because the water's really cold. And the Algarve, it's basically the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea, so the water is a bit more warm there, and that's where everyone that has money, not my case, but everyone that has money goes to for summer holidays. They all go down south to the Algarve. It's a really big spot where you can find a lot of tourists, like mainly Dutch and English and German people. They come around on the summer holidays and they go to the Algarve. And these houses down there, they're really quite unique. So if you've seen the other episodes, you might say, oh, these are the same ones that you did for the Lisbon cities. Not really, because like these houses, they have this sort of paint job where they mainly just use just like the really white color and then blue. You get a bit of other colors also, but like in Lisbon you get it's not so much as a really white that a whitewash that they throw on the walls. It's more of like a beige sort of thing. But down south they really do the white, because it really gets hot, and as it gets hot, because it gets hot, they throw up the white so it could be cooler. And then the blue is just to, you know, liven it up a bit. I need to cough again. So that's what you get down south. I hope, like, if someone is watching from the Algarve, I hope I didn't, like, you know, offend you with this, but it's what you can do in the game. I think it turned out nice. It does give a bit more life to the area, and it does mimic quite a bit. Here I was just showing something that on stream, because I did get this video is from my stream, so like I said before, I use the stream videos to make these videos. So here I'm just decorating a bit, putting some flower pots, some planters on the windows, and I'm going to throw down some shrubbery, some more rocks, and then I can't remember what I did. I think I'm going to throw down some benches, and like one of my viewers says all the time, benches and trash cans. He comes in, the first thing he says when I'm playing Parkitect is benches and trash cans. So these houses you can see all over the south of Portugal, right? The white is because, you know, it gets pretty hot, and that way the houses stay cooler. But I really want to know what it's called in English, because I have no idea. Let me just throw, oh hell, translate, let me see, let's see if I can get this into, oh, okay, so the houses, okay, thank you Mr. Google Translate. The houses get a lime wash, so the white you see there is actually limestone crushed, mixed with I think it's water, right? And then they just paint the house with that. So every couple of years they do that. It's cheaper than paint, so I guess that's why they do it. I have no idea, but yeah, it's a lime whitewash that they throw on the houses. And here you see me, I'm painting the bottom of the water, the bottom of the sea, so to speak, with sand. I should have done that before, but I didn't realize it until it was too late. So yeah, that's what the white is. I actually thought it was, at the time, when the first time I went to the Algarve, I was about like 18. I was in this band, and we had a couple of gigs down there in the summer, and I actually thought that it was paint, but then someone there told me, oh no, it's what we call here cal, C-A-L, so it's lime, but apparently it's lime. Here I'm just showing someone in the stream how to put up the targets for that. So yeah, I know my commentary, I hope my commentary is getting a bit better. I don't think I've said too much ums and ahs today. Okay, there I go. So yeah, I hope I'm getting better at it. I tried to then do something with the queue, not the queue, with the platform of the boats. I couldn't get it to what I really want to do. I got a bit of a how do you call it, creative block. So what I did end up doing was just getting the roof piece and painting it that sort of brownish wooden sort of thing, and throwing it on that, and so it mimics like a wooden what you call it, a wharf sort of thing. I'll probably go in and do a bit more of it. I actually like that tunnel underwater where you can see through it. It looks really nice. There are a couple more things that I think I cut out of the video because it's pretty long. Here I was trying out some colors, somebody was telling me something on stream how to do something, and I was trying it out. So there is this really big pine area next to Daviez, which has a bit of history, a lot of history. It was I think I don't want to lie, but I think it was the first Portuguese king ever, well, the first official Portuguese king. He planted this whole tree line of pine trees next to Leiria, which is a city, and I actually think I end up doing that. So next to the boat ride on the other side of the train track, because I do have a train that's going to go all around the park. Well, here I'm just like throwing up some benches, some props here and there, so that people can, like, you know, give it a sort of a more of a pier or a wharf, you know, sort of feeling. And here I'm starting to decorate the other side of the boat ride, because I looked at it and said, oh wow, that's really bland, there's nothing there. So I ended up doing some more castle work on this side. I actually think it turned out quite good. It ties the whole area together. It separates a bit of the other side to this spot. I didn't go fully, you know, totally up high, because I wanted people that are on the train to be able to see the boats, right? So I did a couple more towers, threw a bit more rocks and stuff like that. I am really sorry. So just to keep in theme with the whole area, you know, the whole castle theme around Portugal, which, like, you do get some of these on the coastline. You don't get a lot of them. You don't get a lot, but you do get some. So that's why I just kept on with the castle theme, because I think it is part of Portuguese history and culture. If you ever do come to Portugal, I recommend you checking out these old structures. Like Lisbon has a couple, Porto has a couple, and the interior of Portugal has a lot of them. There's one that's basically like, I think it's like 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers from my house, which that one's pretty, it's pretty full. It not full, you know, it's complete. That's the word I wanted. It's complete. So I've been there a couple of times. It's pretty cool because it's right on top of this massive hill, and once you're up there, you can see the whole. I'm sorry about that. It's a dude just like went by. Shut up. So once again, I'm sorry. There was a car beeping his horn outside. So once you get, like I was saying, once you get up there, you can see the whole countryside, and you can just like imagine that it is like a point of defense. That's true, it is a point of defense. So that's it for this episode. We've got the coastline. I will be doing a bit more after this. There's something else I do on the coastline. So I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.